Who should have a more compelling future? Graduates or non-graduates? Who should have more productivity? Graduates or non-graduates? Who should have a more compelling future? Graduates or non-graduates? Who should make more money? Graduates or non-graduates? Who should have more productivity? Graduates or non-graduates? To see how you can turn your graduation into a maximum force for productivity and then have so much fuel that you are even willing to turn menial jobs into opportunity for billions and rise above all the illiterates that do menial jobs and break the yoke of waiting for a job or waiting in idleness, then ensure you not only watch this video to the end, but after watching to the end, will you dare do what it says? If you do, I'll see you at the top, because if you do what is in this video, you definitely break the banks and break through.
My is China. I'm an expert global business solutions expert and your real estate success strategist known as the mayor of House Business Channel, where I discuss only business and you can do business directly with me, called My Ace TV, and you can check it out right here. This channel is my personal contribution channel where I'll be giving you exceptional values on business, personal finance, personal development, and life success. And I'll be doing that with a lot of fun, because my one word is fun. And I always seek, teach, inspire, create, collaborate. You can just call me the contributor. Join the exceptional 5% that will watch this video to the end, because you're very special people and you're rare. Welcome on board. Let's learn to grow rich together.
Welcome to the live presentation recap of all our live topics that every Sunday by 6 p.m. we have a live stream where we'll take on a topic that most times are chosen by you. I will treat the topic for 30 minutes, take 10 questions on anything in life, even outside or inside the topic. And after that, I ask questions, and the 10 people that answer our questions will make 30,000 naira each, because we are 30,000 subscribers on this channel. By the time we get to 40k subscribers, we're giving away 40k to 10 people. I will continue until where we can give 100k to 10 people, and then we'll begin to increase the number of people from 10 people to 15, 11, 12, 13, 20, depending on the number of subscribers. So the more subscribers and engagement we have here, the more we can give out, because we are building the most educative and the most generous YouTube channel in Africa. So our last live presentation, we handled a topic, why graduates should do menial jobs. And after we finished that topic, we had to come back with the part 2 of the topic, because the first time we talked about the psychology of why graduates should do menial job, and then the part 2 we talked about the practicality of some kind of menial jobs and business, and did some numbers on what graduates should do. And so we are going to give you that recap, where we are going to give you what we gave you on the live session, but in a more cool, calm, and calculated demeanor, because during the live session, there's a lot of rowdiness, there's a lot of distractions, and some people are more interested in asking me questions than listening to me. But for these are for those that want to dig deeper into the topic. So let's dig deep. Number 1, we are talking about proper education, and the quote that led to this topic that says that with proper education, graduates will do more menial works than illiterates. And if you want to know the definition of menial works and all that, watch the part 1 of this video. And why graduates should do more menial job, a lot of reasons were given in the part 1, but in this part 2 is a more compelling future. Everybody that has gone to school should see their future and have a brighter future than those that have not gone to school. So that brighter future should push you and pull you into doing more than those that have not gone to school. And for definition of future, my best definition is that if you don't see a future that excites you, then you don't have one. So it's not everybody that has a future, because if your tomorrow does not excite you, you don't have a future. You only have a tomorrow. And the glory is our target for tomorrow. But the story is also very important, because it's the story that leads to the glory. And if people start from glory to glory, it's not usually very compelling. But when you start from story to glory, you start from a nobody to somebody, you start from grass to grace, the story is usually more compelling. But nobody will ever care about your story until they see your glory. And one of the things I promised to share with you during the recap is my story. So this is my story. My name is Mais China. I grew up in the beautiful city of Jos. I was one of the best academically intelligent students of my class. I graduated with the best results from primary school, best result in Plateau State from secondary school, 9 A's in my SSC, one of the best graduating students from my department in the Department of Medical Lab Science, University of Nigeria. And then in my final year, I read one book, and this book I read changed and started my story, because everybody expected me to be the academic genius that would take the academic course, because already in my final year, I was offered a graduate assistant job offer, the Department of Anatomy, and I declined it simply because those in anatomy department did not look like the future I saw for myself. And for me, if you don't look like what I want to be like, I don't work in what you are working at. So if you want me to be a billionaire, show me a billionaire, and I'll know if I want to be a billionaire or not. So that book led me to starting my journey on entrepreneurship. So I came out, started my internship in the teaching hospital. While doing my internship, I was eager to do a side hustle and business to make money. So I borrowed a lot of money plus the money I saved. I think I borrowed 2.2 million naira plus 1.2 million naira I saved. I borrowed 2.3 million naira and 1.2 I had saved. I gathered 3.5 million naira and gave to a stranger I met on the road, all in the promise that he was going to give me a truck of oil and we're going to deliver it to NASCO company in Jos, because I grew up in Jos. On that journey, I was supposed to make about 1.2 million naira from the 3.5 million. And I even promised the people that gave me 2.2 million that I'll be paying them 10% every week, because the transaction was supposed to take 3 days. And guess what? The guy disappeared with the money. So not only did I not make any money, but I was owing 2.2 million. And my job, as at the time, I was doing 3 jobs. My salary as an intern in the teaching hospital was 70,000. And I was doing 3 jobs, so I was able to earn about 170 to 200,000 naira then. And I was owing 2.2 million. I was harassed. As a matter of fact, one of the guys, I've not even paid him till date. We reconnected recently, and I want to use him as a testimonial to this story. So when the pressure was much, I had to resign from medical practice in 2007 and go learn how to make money. And that started my journey of what Winston Churchill says, that success is going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. I resigned from medical practice and started selling diesel in jerry cans, black market. If you're in Port Harcourt, you know Abonema Wharf. I used to go buy diesel there. I had a dump in GRA by Abacha Road, and I was living in GRA then. I was using my V-boot with my lab coat to supply diesel to fast foods, Nathan dry cleaners. I used to supply them diesel. And I started, but because I had a passion and a more compelling future and more educated, I did it so well that I met some opportunities. And in less than 3 years, I had gone from jerry cans to trucks to owning a filling station in Imo State in 2010. By 2012, I was the second largest diesel distributor in Imo State. Then at the end of 2012, 2013, I had a series of losses that I lost 50 million naira. I was owing 18 million naira. Then somebody I was owing 1.8 came from my neck. In 2013, I used to go from arrest, bail, detention almost throughout the year because all the people I was owing that 18 million wanted to tear me apart. And in Nigeria, owing is a crime. In our laws, it's not a crime, but in our practice, it's a crime. So I got angry when one of my very close friends that was owing 1.8 million arrested me, and I got angry. I said, I'm not taking bail. I spent 2 months in Owerri State CID, and from there I was taken to court and remanded in prison custody. Spent 8 months in prison. I came out of prison in 2015 February. And then when I came out of prison, it was in trying to find a way to start over that I met a business club called Fast Track Business Club, and they introduced me to the concept of personal development. Before then, I had only read one book. But in 2015 August, I met the club that let me know that learning is earning. So I started devouring books. And by 2017, I found out my talent was in sales and marketing because I only have a mouth work, I don't have a hand work. And I started real estate. I read like a madman in 2017. I read 8 hours every day. I took reading as my occupation because I was so broke, I had nothing else to do. I devoured so many books. By 2018, I was sound, ready, and hungry. And that was where I was invited to MC the unveiling of a real estate company. And I went to the boss and said, I can sell your property better than you. And that's how I started real estate in 2018 with nothing. And by 2020, I built this brand. 2021, I started expanding the brand and came into Port Harcourt. 2022, I ran into a beautiful property that could house the new Banana Island. That's the way the Alessa journey started. And that's how I went from nothing to where I am today, where we own one of the biggest private estates here in Port Harcourt coming up. It's about 1,500 plots. And very soon, I'll be doing my debt freedom ceremony and all of you hear it. So all that story is the story of going from failure to failure. And what's my greatest failure? Ever borrowing money to do business, because when you lose that money, you would have the loss to contend with and the creditors, the people you are owing, to contend with. And that kept me going from level to level. And today, I became financially free sometime in April this year, and I'll be absolutely financially free in the next year or two. So the story is not the goal. The goal is the glory, because in the next 2 years, I'll be absolutely financially free. And all those people that laughed at me when I resigned. I didn't even tell you the sweetest part of the story, because after my secondary school, I worked in a block industry and I worked in a building site as a laborer. And I still have those people that work together with in Jos. So those people that laughed at me that he's an intelligent secondary school graduate and he's working in a block industry. He's a graduate of medical lab science and he's working in a diesel dump and selling black market diesel. Some of those guys that sold diesel then with me are still where they are, the level they are. And today here we are, because as a graduate, you have a more compelling future than others that are doing the menial job because they have to survive, and you are doing the menial job because you are funding your dream. And that's the difference. And when I resigned from medical practice, some of the medical friends I have were crying, and I told them, don't cry. Working in a hospital is not an achievement. Owning a hospital is an achievement. And by 2028, we're going to launch our hospital series. Not only will we own the hospitals, we'll own the properties around the hospitals, and we'll own the people that work in the hospital. So when we launch that in 2028, those people that cried for us are still working and earning salary in the hospital, and now we are going to come back as their bosses and own the hospitals they are going to work in. So if you don't see a future that excites you, then you don't have one. And if you resent failure, you don't understand success. If you settle in failure, you don't deserve success. So, as a graduate, you are not resenting the menial job. You welcome and embrace it. And then you're not going to remain in the menial job because you're going to use it as a boost, a launch pad for you to launch into the future that is more compelling than that of the illiterate. So today I'm going to show us some practical examples because I told us in the part 1, and as Confucius says, tell me and I may forget, show me and I'll remember. So for you to remember why you must do menial works as a graduate, you need to watch this. And finally, he said, involve me and I'll understand. So there are 7 case studies we're going to be looking into. Pure water seller, I think that's one of the most menial job. Car wash, not the formal car wash, the local manual car wash. Site laborer, which I did after secondary school. House cleaning, not the professional house cleaning, normal house cleaning that your only asset is your 10 fingers and 10 toes. And then roadside engine oil sales. Then tubers farming, we'll talk about yam, banana, plantain, and sweet potatoes. And food commodity sales and storage, we're going to talk about palm oil, ginger, and egusi. So the first thing is pure water seller. One of the things we look down on is people that sell pure water, but sometimes they might be earning more than you, a graduate that is working as an intern somewhere. They are paying you 70K. Why? If you want to buy a 50-liter cooler, it's about 50,000 naira. You want to buy 10 bags of pure water, it's about 5K because the bag is 500 naira. And then you want to buy 2 ice blocks, it's about 1,000 naira. So 2 ice blocks, all that will take you about 56K to start pure water business. But if you are able to sell 10 bags a day, you make 5K daily, and you spend 1K on ice block, you make 4K daily. So in a month, you make about 120,000 monthly, and in a year, 1.4 million naira. Then in a month that you're not able to sell 10 bags, you sell 5 bags, you make about 60K monthly. In a good month that you didn't sell 10 bags, you sold 20 bags daily, you make 240K monthly, and that's about 2.8 million naira in profits annually. But we laugh at them. And it takes an average graduate 3 years to 10 years to get a meaningful job after graduation in Nigeria. So the epiphany is that if you check how much you've spent on the internet on data, do me a favor, the next 3 months, don't recharge from any account. Dedicate one account, maybe your OP account, and get all your data from that account. At the end of the 3 months, go and check your account statement. You'll be shocked how much you've spent on data. If you check your account statement over the past 1 year, you'll be surprised how much people have given you in gift and other things that you don't call earning, but you've been spending them. And then if anybody has ever given you a 60,000 naira gift in bulk, because that business takes 56,000 naira to start, each time you've eaten 56,000, you've eaten 700,000 a year, which is what you make in a bad year in pure water using 1 cooler, to 3 million naira a year, which is what you make in a good month from pure water, and a good year from pure water in a year. And if you've been a graduate for more than 5 years and you've gotten this 56K for more than 5 years, 3 million times 5, you've wasted 15 million naira not selling pure water. So let me bust your excuse. If you can say, I've never gotten 56K, at least your labor is your capital. In the past few years, you have been staying without going to work as a laborer. So you have wasted money. For each time you are not making money, you're wasting money. So we're just going to do a summary of these 6 other cases, and you can do your due diligence. And when we did this, some people asked in the live stream, what about expenditures? To help you with expenses, please, if you know you are not spending money when you are not making money, when you start these menial jobs, don't do menial job for you to spend the money. You do menial job for you to save the money, to start the business. You can now spend the money, or to get the job, you can now spend the money. So the second one, not neighborhood car wash. You need 10 to 20K People pay 10 to 20,000 per car a month. If you target 5 to 10 cars, that means in a month you'll be making 50k to 200k, and all you need is bucket and those small sachets of clean. And a site laborer, the daily pay of a site laborer now is 5,000 to 10k all over Nigeria. If it's 5,000, that means if you do laborer for 30 days, you make about 150k. If you are taking a break once every Sunday and you don't work on Sundays, you make about 130,000 a month. Then if you are in an area where they pay up to 10,000, that means you're making up to 300k a month. And what's the requirement? Just start doing push-up. Any day you can do 50 push-ups, you can carry blocks. I've worked in the block industry. And you can serve. If you don't have the strength for block industry, the easiest one is site laborer. Because you just carry already dry block to the messing, carry cement to the messing. But in block industry, you have to learn how to carry wet block that is still fresh. If your hand shakes, the block collapses. So that one, it requires some technicality. I did it in 1997 and it wasn't a funny experience, but I mastered it before going to the university. Then, so site laborer, you can make up to 300k a month. If you are in an area, they pay laborers 10k a day. And non-professional house cleaning, most of people pay 30 to 40,000 naira for you to come clean their house twice a week. I pay more than that because I'm not a basic wage person. I pay minimum wage in my company. So if you target 3 houses and you are making 30 to 40k, you have a chance of making 90 to 120k monthly just cleaning houses twice a week. Roadside engine oil. This is another one that is like pure water because it's 100% pure profit. So the potential profit is 100% for, and you can start with 10 liters. 10 liters is about 40,000. The profit is usually times 2. So a liter is about 40,000. You can start with 5 liters, which is about, and you can target to sell 5 liters a day, which is about 20k. So that one, the monthly profit is very high. It's usually between 500 and 600k. Then tubers. My life changed the day I watched a video that you can cut yam into small pieces, use ash or something to treat them, and they will act as yam seedlings. So if you get 1 tuber of yam when 1 tuber was 10k, and you cut it into 20 pieces, and you get sacks and put them, because you can farm yam in sacks, and your backyard can take maybe 20 or 100 sacks. If it's 20 sacks, you've planted with 14k. The next harvest season, you are going to harvest 200k. So that's how much you've been wasting. Each time you ate 14k, you've eaten 20 tubers of yam and wasted 200k of sales. So the final place where I want to really spend some time is the food commodity sales and storage. For the sales, I advise you to separate your capital into 2. Use 50% for retail for your expenses and use 50% for storage. So if you can raise up to 200k, you can use 100k to be selling the palm oil in bottles or the egusi in bottles, the ginger, dry ginger, wet ginger. You can sell it however you want. Then the storage potential is what we call the compounding power of storage. So most of these products over the years I've studied have a time in the year when the price becomes times 3 of the price when it is harvest season. During harvest, they are usually very cheap. But when it's off season, they are usually very expensive and sometimes times 3 of what you bought. So if it's times 3 and you start with 100k, in 10 years, you're going to grow your 100k to about 656 million naira. So from 100k to 650 million in 10 years just by storage. And you are not doing anything, just compounding and storage. If the price is twice, which most times is the least you get in a year, you move from 100k to about 50 million naira in 10 years. That's the power of compounding that graduates should know more than illiterate. But You find that the people that store these products are usually illiterate. They don't understand the mathematics of compounding, but they understand the livematics of compounding. So any graduate that does not understand the magic of compounding is grossly uneducated. And Albert Einstein, one of the best people that gave us the definition of compound interest, he said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it earn from it, and those who don't understand it pay for it. And that brings me to the most important part of this presentation, the magic of the compounding penny. Any graduate that does not screenshot this screen and understand this whole thing wasted your years of graduate. What's the story of the compounding penny? The parable is spoken of a rich man that offered an American or two Americans an option to either take $3 million in cash today, immediately, or take one penny that doubles in value every day for only 31 days. 99.9999 people took the 3 million naira, but one guy decided, okay, let me choose the magic penny. And day one, it was 1 penny. Remember, it takes 100 pennies to make $1. As of day 7, you still have 64 pennies. You don't even have up to $1. It becomes more than $1 on day 8. But guess what? Between day 8 of $1 and day 18, it moves from $1 to $1,300 in value. Between day 18 and day 28, it moves from $1,300 to 1.3 million. You can see each 10 days adds about 1,000%. It moves from $1,300 to 1.3 million as day 28. The magic happens in the last 3 days. Because as day 28, you have 1.3 million. Your friend that took the 3 billion is still boiling and has 3 billion. Day 29, you move from 1.3 and double in value to 2.6, and your friend still has 3 million and more than you. But day 30, you jump from 2.6 to 5.2, and you are now 2 million richer than your friend that has the $3 million. And day 31, you shock the whole world by becoming an overnight success, and you end up with $10.7 million. While your friend has his $3 million. That's the magic of the compounding penny, that one single penny that is not up to $1 can turn to $10.7 million in just 31 days of compounding and doubling in value. So that's how compounding works. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. But the epiphany for me was when I discovered that this is the compounding penny in days. But between the ages of 16 and 47 is 31 years. I am 46. I'll be 47 in January 2026. So if I had started compounding 1,000 naira at the age of 16 and doubling it, I'll probably have 10.7 billion by the time I am 47. So the earlier you start, the better. And wealth can be defined as your goals plus compounding plus time. The earlier when you start and how long you compound for. Because if you check the magic of the penny, if by day 28, for instance, it's still 1.3 million. But if you persist for 3 more years, it becomes 10.7. And if you started late and you were only able to compound the penny for 10 days, you only have $5 from 1 penny. But somebody that started earlier and was able to do it for 31 days will have 10.7. So the earlier you begin to compound your money in years, the better. But the difference between graduates and illiterate is goals. Graduates have bigger goals than illiterates. But the effective difference, because difference might be different but non-effective. The effective difference is starting. Many illiterates start compounding these things early. Most graduates are waiting for a job and waiting for an opportunity. but it's never too late. Yet, the earlier, the better, because the younger you are, the easier it is to take action. You are younger today than tomorrow, so it's easier for you to take action today than tomorrow. So I did this video because this video will either haul you and push you into action, or haunt you and be chasing you all around like a ghost if you don't take action after watching this video. But the question I want to ask you before this video ends is, are you a coward? Because to think big and start very small and grow very big takes a lot of courage. It's cowardice to think you can think very big and want to start very big. No man was born a man. We are all born babies. When I was born, I didn't have this. I didn't even know how to talk. And when you were born a baby. So baby steps for graduates should start from menial jobs. Learn the baby steps and start growing from there. And if you do it very well, even those that have worked for years before you started your menial job will be envying you by the time you get to where you are meant to be. And there's a Chinese saying that says the best time to plant a tree is 5 years ago. The next best time is today. And I rephrase that saying to say that the best time to start compounding is 5 years ago. The next best time to start compounding is today. But starting doesn't make all the difference. What makes all the difference is when you start. Winners will start now. Losers will start when they are ready. So if you finish watching this video and you still want to get ready, you already know the answer. But I assure you, if you can start today from whatever menial job and learn to compound what you earn, and the only way you can do that is to remember that you are not doing menial jobs for you to earn a living. You are doing menial jobs for you to earn a capital. And menial jobs are very menial. Menial means lacking in prestige. So no graduate should love menial jobs. So menial jobs are so menial that you shouldn't love them. And that brings me to the final quotation for the day that says, working at a work or a job you don't love without saving for the one you love is not making ends meet, it's making ends split. So if you make the mistake to go start the menial job, and instead of saving for you to now start your main job or your main business, you now start blowing that money on surviving and expenses, you remain there. Remember the quote that says, if you despise failure, you don't understand success. But if you remain in failure, you don't deserve success. So as a graduate, you should start menial jobs and learn to grow them very big. Now, end with my story. A part of that story was in that 2010 when I owned the filling station in Imo State. I had just used all the money I had to get the filling station, and I had a small car, a Nissan Sunny. So when I finished, I didn't have any money for petroleum products or to buy the diesel itself. And I knew that if someone knew that I had a filling station, they'll probably give me diesel on credit. So what did I do? I needed money, not for the diesel, but small money that can entertain the diesel supplier to make him believe me and bring diesel to me on credit. And I needed money to lodge them in a hotel, money to take them out to a club. That time or that year in 2010, Ibariogwa was still very hot in Owerri. Ibariogwa was raining, for those that know Owerri. We needed to take them out, flex them, get some expensive bottle of wine. So after all the calculations I did then, I needed about 300K for that entertainment. I didn't have one dime, but I had a car. Guess what I did? I started driving taxi for 2 months to raise 300K in 2010. I drove so much taxi that I still have living witnesses. I will be doing a documentary on that, on how I was driving taxi. I slept at Casablanca in Port Harcourt at night just to carry people very early in the morning when they leave the club. I slept at Control Park in Owerri just to be the first in line to load my Owerri to Port Harcourt taxi first thing in the morning. I learned there's a car wash that has water tank there, and they don't lock their water tank. I go there, wash my car, take my bath, and then eat at Control, enter my car, put a mosquito coil, bring down the window a bit, lower the car, and sleep in the car. I had a bucket in my boot. I had a small bag in my boot, and I had all my essentials. I can take my bath anywhere. I did that for 2 months and raised 300K. And by the time I invited a supplier from Port Harcourt refinery then to come to Imo State, and he saw my filling station and I entertained them very well, they sent me diesel. A few months later, I was the second highest diesel supplier and distributor in Imo State because I was humble enough to go start as a taxi driver, and the rest, they say, is history. So if you are not humble enough as a graduate, then remember in our part 1, we say 2 things are keeping you away from all your fortune, your future, and compounding and all the opportunities: your ego and your comfort. But if you can swallow your pride and swallow your comfort and go start something menial today and discipline yourself enough to save and compound what you earn until you get to where you want to be, then you will get to the top. And I'll see you at the top. Hey, sorry to just interrupt that wonderful teaching I was giving, but we're building the most educative and most generous YouTube channel in Africa to put a gold mine in your mind and to put a dime in your pocket, because we believe that without the mind, money is not sustainable, and with all the mind and no money, you won't be able to multiply what you know. So please, if you've got value from this business so far, it will help this channel a lot. You can hit the subscribe button so that YouTube can recommend this to more people. And if you found value so far in this video, please hit the like button. And if the value is enough for you to make money, that's if the value is something monetizable, then share the video with all your friends so that we can share the money together. And I have a 90-day promise that says, if in 90 days of consuming my content, your life has not changed enough for you to make up to $10,000 with the knowledge you've gained from here, you can unsubscribe by then. But for now, subscribe so that more people can get this opportunity. Have you subscribed? Many of us are so derailed in this 21st century with the 20th century format or platform of enslavement that is called the modern day slavery. When businesses in the 19th century discovered that labor was the major deciding factor for production, and that cheap labor will help the margin of product from productivity to be high and increase profits, the concept called slavery or forced labor was introduced. And throughout the 19th century, slaves were used against their will to produce the labor needed for production, because that was the agrarian age where manual labor was used for farming and farm produce or mining production. In the 20th century, slave laws were abolished, and then the birth of the industrial age was born, where instead of forced labor, we were using willing labor, enlightened people that were willing to work and had gone to school. And the school system was introduced to create employees that will know how to memorize instructions, obey instructions. And that's why from school, from day one, you are asked to wear uniforms, assemble in line, march in line, do everything, obey orders, don't talk without permission, so that you are an obedient worker to the industrial age capitalists that needed obedient workers that cannot think for themselves, but work to make the capitalists rich. But in the 21st century, The new age was born, where intelligence has gone into machines. The new workforce are machine AIs. That the only thing that now differentiates you from a machine is your innate productivity and no longer your intelligence and obedience. The school system taught us to be intelligent and obedient for a systematized, organized labor system that will absorb you, pay you salaries till you die, make you sacrifice your dream for the dream of the corporation or the boss you work for. But in this new age, the responsibility is now on you to not only create your dream, but to also create your own work. I talked about work in this and not job because job has made graduates not see the value in working. They don't want to work. They want to work on a job. And a job is a place where you are a modern day voluntary happy slave. You want to earn salary, but you've not asked yourself, those people earning salary, how far? You want to jackpot, you've not asked yourself, those people that jackpot, how far? You want to do a lot of things and you've not asked yourself, those people that are there, how is it working for them? So, in this new age, it is your productivity, it is your financial understanding. It has even been made worse because most of the pension systems are now dysfunctional that even the government can borrow your pension. The government can do a lot of things with pension, and secured pensions are no longer secured. So not only are you building your dream, not only are you building your work, you are also building your own pension. But there's so much productivity around us. There's so much value around us that if only we can just do these things, all of us will be good. Let me just take one commodity. The day I found out that you can farm yam in sacks, there's no graduate with all your dignity that cannot find a backyard where 20 tubers or 20 sacks can sit. Why is every backyard not filled with sacks of yam? Why is every fallow land next to our buildings in our city centers not filled with sacks of yam? Because we have been hoodwinked and brainwashed by the school system that salary will ever make a difference in your life. My mentor Jim Rohn says, profit is better than salary. Salary will make you a living, but profit will make you a fortune. It's so disheartening that our school system has brainwashed you to see that making a living is better than making a fortune. For those of you that will see this video and decide to take the leap of going backwards for you to catapult yourself forward in starting with menial job to save up for whatever will help you to achieve your dream, you will not only make a fortune, but all these ones that refuse to make a fortune are willing to wait to make a living will end up working for you. As I said in one of my quotes, that profit is more money than money. The day we realize that the game is not a game for survival, the game is not a game for making a living, the game is not even a game for productivity, the game is a game for profit. Because the only thing more money than money is profit. And profit will make you a king and give you the rarity of the very few that ever taste the air of economic or financial freedom. I don't know about you guys. I decided a long time ago that I will never be economically bound to any organization, economically bound to any government, economically bound to any individual, that I have to beg the organization, beg the government, or beg an individual for my financial survival. I decided I will fight for my financial freedom, and I'll do it or die trying, because as Martin Luther King said, he that has not found something to die for has not found something to live for. I found what to live for. When I tell you my one word is fun, fun for me is freedom to be unified with my natural self. And the greatest freedom is financial freedom, because when I have financial freedom, I can decide to wear this cap to the dinner that I was invited with the president because I'm not his employee and I don't need a contract from him. I can decide to wear this one shirt from now till December and nobody will query me because nobody affects my finances. I can decide to relocate to any part of the world because I don't depend on anywhere for economics. I can decide that my shout of joy will not be hallelujah. My shout of joy will be hey lele pimpi, because I have financial freedom. Many of you will live and die without ever tasting what it will be like to be you. Because without financial freedom, you are not really you. You are laughing to impress your uncle so that he'll give you money. You are probably watching this and not hearing what I'm saying and trying to comment to impress me so that I'll give you money. Your laughter probably is but you are laughing because you want me to give you money and you don't have financial freedom. It's only when you are financially free that you can be you. Because as one of my quotes says, when you have money, we will know you. So if you don't have money, you are not you. I will not know you. Dare to have money and ever be you in this life before you die for your accelerated result. So, you've heard it. 2 parts. Part 1 was the philosophy and the psychology of why graduates should do menial job. Part 2 is the practicality of what you can do. There are more you can do than these 7 cases, and you should go start today. But if you feel that you still need more light on what to do, how to budget, how to learn the psychology of success, we've got enough videos for you on this channel. Click on the video above and I'll see you on the other side.
It is super duper amazing that you found my content valuable enough for you to watch till the end. Only 5% of exceptional people do that. You're exceptional and I deeply love and appreciate you. Don't just watch to learn, watch to take action. And the first action is subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our daily value action. Remember, only doers are winners.